Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. I'll speak in Greek because in English, not in Greek, because 25 years abroad is a long time. I don't know if I can project my slides, please. I'm a neurosurgeon by training. My main interest is brain tumors, and I'm the clinical lead in neuro-oncology in Manchester, one of the biggest centers in UK, in particular in brain tumor surgery. But other than my other passion is education. So I have been the training lead for neurosurgery in Manchester, where we have 25 trainees for quite some time, and the clinical tutor for clinical fellows for my hospital, currently looking after 80 fellows. So therefore, so I'll just skip that. For me, what made me have a very strong interest in education was my own journey. I did my medical school in University of Athens, and then I started my neurosurgical training in Athens, in Cat Hospital. I have to say, I was one of the, I think, few female, probably first or second neurosurgical trainee. I didn't think I would have had the training or the career I would have liked for myself, and that made me go abroad. Obviously, it was different times, but again, you cannot do anything without perseverance. And I was lucky enough to have support from one of the professors of neurosurgery who was Greek at the time, who gave me a step to go to the UK, do an observership in the first instance, and then got into the training system there and completed my neurosurgical training and did a fellowship subsequently in Canada for 2 years, in Toronto, with an amazing mentor, Dr. Gentili, who unfortunately passed away this year from a brain tumor. So he was one of the people who inspired me the most to look after my trainees, to look after my fellows. I would say it is definitely worth, even if you have done your training in Greece or elsewhere, to undertake a fellowship abroad, in particular in UK, because you get the exposure in different healthcare systems that broadens your horizons, and then you can integrate this experience when you return to your respective country. Also, people can focus in the special field of interest. Obviously, now it's the area of the time of subspecialization. So to be able to learn, to improve your skill, no matter what specialty you are, and to consolidate the experience you have acquired during your training is paramount. Obviously, also you improve your confidence and your morale, and certainly you improve your CV and you can enhance your career. Over the years, I have mentored a number of fellows, not Greeks and not only, and I'm quite proud that quite a few of them actually have returned to our homeland and they're doing extremely well. I will just give a personal example. A very close relative of mine had a brain tumor, unfortunately, beginning of this year, and one of my trainees had returned from UK, and I knew he would do a fantastic job, and he did. So for me, that was, it was years worth looking after him, because he did an amazing job, not only his skill, but the care he took to look after my relative. So what I suggest people do if they want to pursue a fellowship in UK, first of all, do the homework. Do your homework quite well. This is what I did when I went to Toronto. Try to find a fellowship that suits you and your future aspirations, and get in touch with the program director and the fellowship supervisor. Over the years, obviously, we have a robust interview system and scoring system to get our fellows. But what we appreciate a lot, if people have been in touch with us and show a persistent interest. I had people emailing me time and time again, expressing their interest for the next year, the year after. So obviously, this plays a significant role, and this is something I did when I went to Toronto. I went and visited in advance, and I suggest people do that. Also, as people mentioned before, it's very helpful if you can to try to visit the unit, express your interest, and then you meet with the program director, you meet with the residents, and you see if this is the unit that suits your aspirations. Obviously, the fellows participate in all the aspects of the patient's care, along with the residents. They participate in the on-call rota, depending on obviously which department, which specialty it is. They may have a role of a more senior resident, or depending on their experience, they might be going to a junior tier rota till they get accustomed to the system. And they're expected to participate in the academic activities of the unit and get involved in local teaching. So as I said earlier, obviously it's important to consider a shadowing period. Athena mentioned about post-Brexit, so interestingly, although Brexit did not significantly affect the opportunities to come and work in UK, there has been a significant drop in the number of the Greek doctors we had. I do remember around between 2010, 2015, we had more than 5-6 doctors in neurosurgery who were from Greece, and the word rounds, my colleagues were saying, always happen in Greek. At the moment, we still have 2 Greek fellows, but people should not be put off by Brexit. And actually, in fact, there is a shortage of doctors, believe it or not, and nurses in UK. Obviously, certain specialties are quite competitive, but still worth pursuing. It is a different, it was a cultural shock coming to there, but you get accustomed. People are friendly no matter what they say, and you can adapt quite quickly. I think we discussed previously about trying to get the UK exam if you want to pursue a career in UK, and there is a parallel road called the Caesar process that you accumulate your experience and then you apply to the GMC with 3 letters of recommendation. And if you have acquired the expected competencies, you may be able to get a certificate of specialty of training, even if you haven't been through the national training system in UK. So there is this avenue, provided you work hard and you have people to support you. So there are 2 different types of fellowships in UK. There is the formal fellowships, which are approved by Royal College of Surgeons or Physicians. Those are more structured and they're more monitored. For example, I'll just say about my field, every fellow who spends 12 months with us is expected to have done at least 150 operative cases, to have published 2 papers and 2 audits. So there is a set curriculum and set learning outcomes, and these are monitored at the end of the fellowship by the Royal College, where they submit their achievement, and then only they can get a certificate of fellowship, and then only the institution can continue being able to offer formal fellowships.
Κωνσταντίνα, έχουμε ξεπεράσει το χρόνο που μας
ανέλεγε. I'm finishing, thank you. And then there are the locally approved fellowships, which is more emphasis in service commitment. This is just basically, it's about our trust. I won't say much about this. And I would say finally, it's very, there are other things one has to consider where you get your fellowship, with the amenities, the countryside, cost of living, and the support networks that are available. I'll finish by this. I'm saying we're very keen to welcome any people who want to come to UK. I'm very happy to give my email to anybody who wants to pursue any further neurosurgical training or bring them in touch with other colleagues in other fields. Many thanks.
Thank you very much.